You are now listening to Get the Chip. Before we get into today's video, remember to hit that like button and subscribe to Get the Chip for new sports content every week. One thing we got to talk about in this whole top 10 thing, I feel like this is a very controversial thing because some people, I was just looking at some of the other shows that come out throughout the week and just looking at where people place this man is very interesting to me. I feel like it's almost the most controversial thing in this whole topic, and that's Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are saying Giannis is number one. He's a back-to-back MVP. He's number one. And then other people like us got him way lower. I had him at 7. I think you had him at like number 8 or number 9. What's your argument for this guy not being one of the elite top 3 players in the league? Because he should be, like, based on all his attributes, his size, his athleticism. What's your knock against him? And then I'm going to tell you mine.
I think what's happening with the top 2, for example, for sure, I would say is championship. So that's why, for me, partly why I gave KD the nod over James Harden in my top 10. So I've got LeBron number 1, KD 2, and then James Harden's never won championship. So I think that's part of it. He's not, like, as far as being a champion. And then the second part of it is I feel that he hasn't shown me anything really under pressure. You said something in one of our previous conversations where we were talking about Ty Lue and what the impact might be on the Clippers. And I was saying how people forget when Ty Lue was an assistant coach, he was going at LeBron when LeBron already was carrying the team. And you were like, Ty Lue was like, I don't care, I need more. Like when you're supposed to be not just the best player on your team in any arena, not just professional basketball, when you're supposed to be the best person on the team, like you gotta take what you're already doing kind of just to the next level and not just be like, man, I'm doing my best. So we suck. We're losing anyway. That doesn't mean you got to win, because sometimes it's just not possible. Sometimes you're on a team that just can't make it past whoever your opponent is. Yeah. But I think with Giannis, he doesn't have that extra gear. I just think that he's so dominant and such a force of nature throughout the regular season and, parts of the playoff. But when you have to beat a team 4 times to advance, it's hard. It's easy for the opponent in a professional setting to figure out a way to shut down what has gotten you, the success that you've had throughout the year, maybe partially in the playoffs. So I feel like Giannis doesn't have that other thing that can, that can get him over the hump. Even if it's something where Giannis is like, okay, I can't run the floor like I do and get dunks and all that stuff. I don't have a mid range at this point. I don't shoot threes really well. Get 24 rebounds in a few of the games in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like get 6 blocks. Like I feel like, I'm not trying to say that Giannis has to be some other kind of player, but there are other things that he could do with his athleticism and his size that can completely change the game. Get someone else on your team 36 points and someone else 27, and you get 18 points and 24 rebounds. Like, do something else. Like I think of how, like, when an example was maybe like, I'm going kind of way back for a lot of people, but like Shaq and Kobe, right? Sometimes when Kobe was just going off, Shaq was like, all right, I'm gonna get 4 blocks. I'm gonna get a gross amount of rebounds, 18, 22 rebounds. I'm gonna not shoot, 60% of the free throw. I'm gonna do 80% this game. Like he would figure something else out. And there are other big man examples that we can look at. Chris Bosh is another one. Chris Bosh was tearing up the East, killing it in Toronto. He comes to the Heat.
Chris Bosh is slept on, man. He was a beast.
He was a problem for anybody, any team, anywhere when he was in Toronto.
He looked like a big dinosaur shaking them dreadies and just getting buckets.
Exactly. He was more athletic than Kevin Garnett to me, but he had more skill. He had more like footwork and skill, and he didn't move like a 7-footer. To me, he moved like a, he moved like a.
He was more agile.
Yeah.
More refined.
So he was a problem, but he came to the Heat. He took a back seat, so he just figured out how to do other things. Maybe, to a large degree, he was a locker room guy. Chris Bosh was celebrated. He celebrated successes of verbally, physically in games, and LeBron had a dunk. D Wade did something. He knew that he could do it, but he just did other things that made the team become 2-time champion. So I feel like that is what makes me push down Giannis. It's not that I dislike his game the way he plays. I think he's a skill set that I don't really remember seeing in one package, and he's young. Giannis is what, probably 25 maybe, so he's
I
still
think
got
less, bro. I think he's
really,
super young. Yeah, I'm gonna
yeah. So
Google
he's
it
got
right
time.
now. Keep going.
So
But
yeah, so he's got time to build those other things. But when Giannis, it's almost like when his go to move or moves don't work, he tries to go to these
oh
other things
nah,
that are
you're
working.
right. He's 26. I thought he was
Okay.
younger than that.
Yeah, so he goes to, okay, well, I've been working on my threes. Let me see if that works. Ah, that's not working. My mid range don't work, and then he loses confidence. Do the other basic fundamentals of basketball. Get, like I said, if Giannis wanted to get, if Russ can get 19 rebounds in a game, 22 sometimes, Giannis should be able to do that in his sleep. Like, I just want to see Giannis do that, and he'll still get the credit as being the best player or the MVP or whatever if his team wins, because we know that he's doing other things. Maybe he didn't have a big scoring series. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe he didn't have all the dunks and all that stuff like he has. So anyway, that's my thing on Giannis. If he will just develop those other basic basketball things, um, and those basketball intangibles, I think that's the missing piece that he has, because he doesn't have to be a 3-point shooter. He doesn't have to develop a mid range game to be an all time great. He could just do the other stuff that will get him over the hump, his team's over the hump, and then it's a problem.
Okay, for me, I agree with you. I think that he should do the focus on those other things sometime, but I think he just needs more refinement in his game, like going along with that Chris Bosh thing that you were running along. And why I think Giannis cannot be a top 3 player right now is because he's an easily solvable puzzle. If you look at LeBron and you look at Kevin Durant, the reason why I put them, and even Kawhi, the reason why I put those guys in my top 3 is because it's nothing that you can do with them.
Yeah.
Nothing you could do with him. LeBron, you could back off LeBron. LeBron will low key wet you up with the jumper too. He slowed down his 3-point shot. You could tell he relaxed because people don't want him going to the basket, and he started knocking that thing down. And he also got that little mid-range post where he kind of pivots off the pivot foot with the turnaround mid-range. That's nasty. That he got that on lock. And of course, you can't give LeBron any space because he's to the basket, and everybody is too little. And then not only that, then LeBron will start dropping dimes on you if you start bringing the help. So an unsolvable problem. You look at KD. KD started to pass. KD already passed good in OKC, but then when he got to the Warriors and he really trusted all the other players on the floor with him, his dimes started just opening up. Like his vision, his dropping dimes to people like Bogut, Zaza Pachulia, people who hanging around the basket because they're keying in on him, Steph, and Clay dropping dimes. And then it's nothing you could do with him. If he goes to that mid post, he's shooting over anybody. And then if you put the big on him to try to contest that, he dancing on him, going right by him. Unsolvable problem. You try to cramp him up at the 3-point line, he'll go by you. You give him too much space, he'll knock every shot down from mid-range all the way back to the 3. So he's an unsolvable problem. You look at Kawhi, similar thing. You give Kawhi space, it's a bucket. His jumper is good enough. It's a line drive. It's not pretty, but it's going in. Like that song said, it's Kawhi wet. It's going in. And then also on Kawhi too, if you try to crowd him, he going right by you. He not super fast, but he's super strong. He lowered that one arm, put that little arm out to guard the ball. He to the rack, he'll bop. See a stop and pull up, unsolvable problem. And even James Harden, the reason why I have James ranked at number 4, James is about an unsolvable problem until he gets like tired. It's nothing you could do with James. You try to get up on him, he do that little cross through the legs a couple times, crossover, step back, nothing you could do with it. You give him space, he knocking the 3 ball down. He starts drawing fouls. He's an unsolvable problem. So for me to be that elite player, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, you have to be a unsolvable puzzle. And Giannis is not there yet. We see in the regular season, what is Giannis doing? He's running wild. He's running down the lane, fast breaks, dunking on everybody. He even get it in the half court, bump twice, bump, and just bang on somebody down low. And you just like, woo! I can't believe that. Like some of the plays he makes, they're awesome. But then in the playoffs, what happens? The game slows down. You get in the half court more. You're trying to do that same bump. The help is coming. Then all of a sudden, his shots are rushed. He's missing those little floaters. And then people back way off him. You give him that space. He can't hit the jumper. And then he
Right.
start getting frustrated, and then he start trying to do all the stuff he's used to doing because he's like, why can't I do it right now? And then, like you said, he's not focusing on getting assists, not focused on just getting rebounds. He wants to have that same impact he has in the regular season, and he all of a sudden he can't do it because the way the game has been played in the playoffs changed. So just because of that, Giannis falls down my list and he's at number 7. Just because he's a solvable problem. As soon as the game changes for the playoffs, he's not effective anymore.
Yeah, man, I can't argue with that, and that's uh, I'm not gonna start that conversation, but that's why I feel like that's why I'm pretty sure I rank Dame above him. It's why of course, Luka I rank above him. Like those are guys you said solve unsolvable problems.
Thanks for watching Get the Chip on YouTube. For full episodes, visit our website, getthechip.com.